Hi everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to share with you a personal life update. There's nothing fancy about this video. I'm just sitting here on my sofa, cozy and casual, and I wanted to just spill out my story. Now, I did make a decision back at the tail end of 2023 that has taken me into a different direction of my life, and I wanted to share my experience in hopes that if there's anyone out there who is looking to either take a leap of faith or change direction, change course in their lives, or perhaps you're at a crossroads and you're having a really difficult time deciding which way to go, I'm hoping that hearing my story will give you that boost of encouragement to empower yourself to choose what is best for you. All right, so back in December of 2023, I made the difficult decision to quit my corporate job. Yes, I walked away from the 9-to-5 life for good. Now, I might go back one day in the future, but I really can't imagine it at this point. So let me tell you my full story. Last year, you may have watched a video where I openly shared about my doctor's diagnosis. He thought I was depressed. So he diagnosed me with depression and asked me to go on medication. I was very skeptical and decided not to go on the medication and to do my own research and also speak with a therapist. In that process of learning and reflection, I realized that I was on the brink of depression. And to be fair, I was feeling depressed quite often during that period of time. But I didn't feel that the diagnosis fit me quite well. So after reading a lot and talking to a lot of people and meeting with a therapist weekly for about 3 months, by the way, that was the first time I had ever met with a therapist in my life, and I was very, very skeptical about it, but I will tell you it was incredibly helpful. All of that to say that I learned that instead of being depressed, I was actually severely burnout. And burnout is chronic fatigue or stress over a prolonged period of time. So this is something that didn't happen overnight. It had been creeping up on me for a long time, for years actually, and I had been ignoring the signs. So here's how it manifested mentally and physically. Mentally, in terms of my well-being, I was not well. I was scatterbrained, I was irritable, I wasn't sleeping well, I was losing my appetite. At some point, I had to request a nurse to come make a home visit on a couple of different occasions to set me up on an IV drip because I was so dehydrated and I was lacking the proper nutrients because I wasn't eating well. If you don't sleep well and you don't eat well, your body will absolutely start to break down, and that was what was happening to me. I started to have blurry vision for no reason. I went to an ophthalmologist. There was no reason why I was having these issues with my eyesight other than stress and exhaustion. I had dizzy spells. I would have physical aches and pains starting from the top of my neck all the way down to my back. There were mornings when I would wake up and feel like I had been hit by a truck the night before. My whole body would be sore. And what did I tell myself? That I should rest, that I should take a break? No. I told myself that I should power through it, that I should push through it. In fact, I said to myself that I had no right to be tired, that I had no right to want to walk away from all of this because I was blessed and privileged, and that I should be grateful. That's what I kept telling myself. You need to be more thankful for everything. I had reached the peak of my career, and here I was, burnout, totally disassociating from my life, daydreaming about working in a coffee shop when I don't even drink coffee, or fantasizing about working in a bookstore, or just living abroad and starting all over again. I was absolutely numbing out and disconnecting from my day-to-day because it was so overwhelming. It was not just my job, but my job on top of everything else, home responsibilities, family responsibilities, all the things that you have to do, right? So if you're like me and you're feeling overwhelmed and suffocated and smothered by everything that is on your plate, but you're so grateful, know this: you can be grateful for everything you have in your life and still be burnout. That was a light bulb moment for me. I had to learn that the hard way because I kept pushing myself and saying, just be thankful, don't complain, don't be lazy, you just have to work harder. And I realized being thankful and feeling burnout are not mutually exclusive. Those two can happen at the exact same time. And that's what I was experiencing. I was so thankful for everything and considered it all to be a blessing, but it was all too much. So something had to go. It's time for me to make a decision. And if you didn't know, the word decision has Latin roots and it means to cut off or to kill off. And I had to kill off a part of my life in order to be able to grow and flourish in other areas. So I decided to kill off my job. I remember when I was planning to officially resign, I had all kinds of hesitations and doubts, and then I played this game with myself and I said, what will you do if they offer to double your pay? Double, which would be crazy. Would I stay? And the answer was no, because I realized at that point that no amount of money could buy me a new body. No amount of money could cure me of all these health issues, mentally and physically, that I was experiencing because of this burnout. And so when I resigned, my boss wasn't exactly happy to hear the news, but she was very supportive and understanding and immediately started to offer up options. And it could have gone down the path of, well, we can assign you a different role or reduce your schedule or increase your pay. Or I had just gotten promoted a few months ago and I was just a few months shy of my bonus. So I could have just hung in there. And some people in my life with good intentions who are well-meaning said to me, just get your bonus and then quit. It's just a waste. It's such a waste to not at least get your bonus. And I thought to myself, yeah, I could do that, but there will always be an excuse for me to keep going. There will always be another bonus next year. There will always be another promotion, another title increase, a pay increase, more recognition. When will it be enough? And I realized that I had reached the point of enough. I had been working my entire adult life to get to this point, and I had actually surpassed my own goals for myself, and I kept going, even though it wasn't serving me any longer. So that's another thing that I learned. There is a season for everything. There was a season of my life when all I focused on was my career. I was working 9 to 5 and then going straight to grad school in the evenings. It was just hustle, hustle, hustle. This is when my husband and I were newly married. He was also very focused on building his own business at the time, and so we were just on this one-track mind. Fast forward a few years later, I'm getting settled into my career, I'm getting recognition, I'm growing, I have a sense of prestige and status, right? As superficial as that sounds, that is what I was going for as a young 20-something-year-old professional. And then when I got into my 30s, I had kids. And that's when I entered a new season of life where it was all about balance and prioritizing and sacrifice, and understanding my needs as well as our family's needs and my kids' needs, and striking that balance and juggling with trial and error throughout that process. And none of it was pretty, none of it was perfect, but we adjusted for that season. And now I'm entering a whole new season where my kids are older, they're in their adolescent stage, they are flourishing with independence, they're much more self-sufficient. They don't need me as much as when they were younger, and they need me in different ways now. I need to be present and available, but I don't need to be changing diapers and taking them to play dates, right? It's different. And so I have the bandwidth and the capacity now to really focus on other areas. This time is the first time that I ever quit my job without a better job lined up. The only other time that I quit without another job was when I decided to be a stay-at-home mom for a specific season of our lives because our kids were quite young at the time. And I am so glad that I did that, because as much as I thought I was committing career suicide at the time, I cherished those years that I had with my kids. And as hard as it was making that transition from professional to full-time caretaker, it is something I would never trade for anything else in the world. And so, they say you can have it all, you just can't have it all at the same time. And I think that's so true. And so this time it was really hard to walk away from my corporate job because there was nothing else I was trading it for. I wasn't quitting for the family or for my kids to be a caretaker or for another job opportunity. I was quitting for me. And for some reason that was hard, you guys. I don't know if you can relate, but it felt selfish and lazy and entitled. But then I started to realize, no. I have made plans and taken steps all along the way throughout the years to build towards this point, and it's time to enjoy the fruits of my labor. I will still work hard. I'm still busy even though I don't have a 9 to 5 because I have other responsibilities. I'm not sitting around just twiddling my thumbs. I am busy, but I'm not going crazy. I'm not feeling this need to run away. I don't feel the pit in my stomach. I don't feel like crying. I don't feel like I'm going to get sick with exhaustion any moment. I feel much more light and free and balanced and healthier. So I learned that even good things, when it's too much, it can feel bad. My job was a good job. It was a really good job. My kids, they're good kids. My family, love my family. Our home, we have a beautiful home. I love everything in my life, but it was just too much all at once. So That's when I had to be really conscious and deliberate and understand, where is my source of stress coming from? What is the main source that is sucking my energy, time, and attention? And it was my work, because I'm not somebody who will half-ass my work. I will give it my all, and I can't slack. I don't know how to slack. It's not in me. So I would just push myself and keep giving as much as the work required, and then I would have pretty much nothing left over for the rest of me. So more of the same was just not going to cut it, and I recognized that I had reached the beautiful point of enough. And so I am now relaxing into this new stage, lighter, freer, happier, less tired, less stressed. I'm not getting sick as much. I'm sleeping better. I'm like falling asleep within 15 to 30 minutes, sometimes even faster, which is unheard of for me. I haven't slept like this since before my kids were born. It's been years since I slept like this, so it's been amazing. I'm finally feeling like I recognize myself again. Once you detox, which I did for the past 3 months, you will start to recover. You will start to recognize yourself again. And that is what's happening, and I love it. So what is next for me? Well, I don't know. I've cleared some space, so I'm remaining open, keeping my gratitude and my abundance mindset, and I believe that good things will come, and I don't need to rush anything. My husband and kids have been so supportive. Frankly, I think they were waiting for me, hoping that I would quit. I think they've been waiting for a long time, so they're really happy for me. And I said half jokingly to them that my plan is to have no plans, and they think that's great. And so, of course, I have plans. I mean, I can't change who I am at the core. I'm still keeping myself busy, but my plans are not tied to a paycheck or to a company or to a boss. I'm much more at liberty to choose what feels right for me on a day-to-day basis. I have responsibilities that I have to get done, of course, but I now have more time, energy, and space to explore other areas, and my creativity is flowing, and so I think this is just the right path for me. You guys know that I have been incredibly vocal about my passion for financial independence, financial empowerment, and education, using money as a tool to build the life that you want, and not chasing money just for money's sake. And now I feel I've come to a point where I need to put my own advice, my own words into action, because I have been building towards today for so many years. I can build towards the future and still enjoy the present. And so that's what I'm learning now, and it's incredible. If you are grappling with a decision that feels scary or risky, entering a new path that is unknown, go inward, go inside and reflect. Ask yourself the really profound questions. Why are you doing what you are doing? Why won't you walk away? What are you afraid of? What's the worst case scenario? What if the best thing happens? Go inward and also feel what's happening in your body. I do believe now that all the things that we do, all the experiences that we have, leave imprints in our body, and our body will respond and tell us if it feels good or not. So I hope that this video was helpful in some way and gave you a boost of encouragement to be able to choose the path that feels best for you. Don't live somebody else's life. I had so many people, again, with the best of intentions in my life telling me that I was so lucky and that I would be crazy to give up such a cush job with such great bells and whistles and pay and title and recognition and all that stuff that New Yorkers in particular really take pride in. And I realized, yes, those are all great things, but that's not what I want for my life in this season. So don't live for someone else. Design your life the way you want it to be so you can feel your best, and know that you're constantly growing and evolving, so it's okay to change paths. It's perfectly normal to change your mind, and you're entering a new season perhaps. So don't be hard on yourself and really give yourself what you need. All right, that's it from me today. This was definitely a much more personal video, unlike my other luxury fashion content. But as you know, I consider you all as virtual friends, and this has become a real community. And I am enjoying sharing little bits and pieces of my personal life, life outside of YouTube, so that we can connect just more on a human level. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.